Hi there, this is Jeff, and I'm going to go over how to get the artwork ready for the 60-inch wide tabletop Silver Step banner stand. And so to start off with, what I'm going to do is take the template, PDF template, and just drag it into Photoshop. And it's going to ask me a few questions before it opens up. And the first being the crop to. So you want to go ahead and select Media Box here, and then it's going to come up with the correct dimensions. And then the resolution, you want to make sure this is set at 125 dpi, which is correct for large format printing. And then for the color mode, you want to make sure this is set on CMYK, because it does actually get printed out in a 4-color CMYK print process. So once you have that in place, go ahead and click OK. So this actually pulls open the full-size template, and what you want to do is you want to actually design literally right on top of this template. And what you want to do though is you want to keep the template as its own separate layer. So on the right hand side here, just keep this as its own separate layer, and you can add new layers by clicking here, and you can then begin adding in all your design elements. So you can go to File and Place, and you can begin adding in your logos and your pictures and everything else. Just keep the template as its own separate layer, because in the end what we're going to do is we're going to delete it and just be left with the final artwork. So as we get started here, I want to point out a couple things. One, you see the two different colors here, the darker blue and the lighter blue, and that's going to indicate the minimum size banner that this banner stand can hold. So it has to be, here's the 60 inches wide, so from the left to the right, this is 60 inches. Now the height has a minimum of 36 inches. So from the bottom here to this line is 36 inches tall. Now the maximum size height of the banner can be 59 inches tall, as shown here. So same 60 inches wide, but up to 59 inches tall. So from the very bottom here all the way to the top. Now I recommend designing the full height, because you can always adjust it down. If you just do the minimum height, which is right here, you can't move it up because you've only designed it right here. But if you do the full height, you can always move it down, because it does have a pole in the back that's telescopic, and so you can actually adjust it up and down anywhere between this minimum and maximum. All right, so that's good to know. And then also it does have a top clamp bar. So if you look at the top here, the clamp bar that actually holds the banner up will consume about 1/2 inch of this top space here. So if you just look at it, just about 1/2 inch or so. So go ahead and extend the background all the way to the very outer edges, including the top. Just make sure to keep any text or logos at least 2 or 3 inches from the top here, and it's also a good practice on the left and on the right and on the bottom to keep everything at least 2 or 3 inches away from the edges. That being said, make sure that the background though extends all the way to the edge. All right, so background all the way to the edge, text, important information, 2 to 3 inches away from the edges. So what I want to do at this point is I want to actually show you an example of some artwork that fits the template really well, and that'll give you an idea of what we're looking for. Okay, so here is some artwork that fits the template really well, and I know that because if I go over to the artwork layer and I just right click on it and I go to blending options, I can actually move the opacity down, and I can see that the template layer is right underneath it. So this is really useful in showing that it fits the template really well, and it also shows the position of it as well. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and click cancel. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to actually zoom in and inspect the resolution of everything. So that way I can see that the photographs being used, the logos and everything else are going to print out in a high quality, high resolution. And the way that you do that is you just press Control and plus on a PC, or you can press Command and plus on a Mac. And you can just zoom all the way in until about 1 inch equals 1 inch on your monitor. So by having the rulers open here, so you just go to View and Rulers, you can see here's 27 inches and here's 28 inches. And that's about 1 inch on my screen here. And this actually shows me how it's going to print out. So this is zoomed in at full size. And what you can do is you can go to Window and make sure that you have Navigator selected, and you can actually just click on it and you can hold it down and zoom or scroll across the entire document. So here's the logo, looks crisp. The photograph looks good, nothing's pixelated, nothing's blurry. And once you've inspected everything, you can go ahead and back out by pressing Control and minus or Command and minus on a Mac. And so once everything looks good, you're ready to go ahead and save a copy of your working layered file. So this is the file that you can use to make any edits now or in the future, and in case you need to make any changes to it, you have a copy of that on your end. So go ahead and save that now as a Photoshop file. And now you're ready to go ahead and delete the template layer. So on the right hand side here, you can either hide it, or what I do is I usually just click on it and drag it into the trash can. So now you're left with one final step before saving it, and that's to go ahead and flatten it. And the way that you do that is you go to Layer and you click Flatten Image. Now that does a couple things. One is it makes the file more manageable. It just compresses all those design layers into just one final canvas. And it makes it more manageable to upload the file because it won't be as big at that point. And then it's also going to lock everything in place so that what you see on your screen is going to be the same thing I see on my screen when you upload it. Because if you use any fonts or any objects, you may have those installed on your computer, but I may not have them on mine. And so that's going to go ahead and just lock everything in place. So once you've done that, you're ready to go ahead and save it. And you just simply go to File and Save As. And make sure you save it as a high quality PDF. So PDF has a really great output, and you just want to make sure that you save it as a high quality PDF. And that's going to be the file that you're going to use to upload and print off of. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Check the notes below, and I'll talk to you soon.